Good. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Sherry Squires, the Chief Operating Officer of the YMCA of Newfoundland and Labrador, and I am happy to welcome you to the Chespenny Family YMCA for the Provincial Government's new poverty reduction announcement. To start, I want to recognize our YMCAs operate on the traditional territories of the Mi'kmaq, Beothuk, Innu, and Inuit. The YMCA of Newfoundland and Labrador has been operating programs for more than 100 years. As a cause-driven charity, our vision is for a province of vibrant and healthy communities where everyone can belong, grow, and thrive. Working together with partners to achieve this is paramount to our providing opportunities for people to grow in spirit, mind, and body. We value the opportunities we've had to collaborate with the provincial government on programs to support families. Project funding support from the Government of Newfoundland and Labrador has helped our YMCA better serve communities through programs in childcare and day camp, pre-kindergarten, health, fitness, and aquatics, and employment, enterprise, and newcomer services. We are happy to provide space for today's announcement and extend a special welcome to speakers, Premier Furey, Minister Pike, Danielle Seward, Executive Director of the Single Parent Association of Newfoundland and Labrador, and Laura Winters, Chief Executive Officer of Stella's Circle. I will now pass it over to Minister Pike, who will be the MC for today's event. Thank you.
Wow, what a crowd. Standing room only. That's what we were hoping for. Good afternoon, everyone. As Minister of Children, Seniors and Social Development, I'm delighted to welcome you all here today for this very important announcement. With us this afternoon, we have the Honourable Dr. Furey, Premier of Newfoundland and Labrador, who will lead today's announcement. We are also joined by Danielle Seward, Executive Director of the Senior Parent Association of Newfoundland and Labrador, and Laura Winters, CEO of Stella's Circle. Each of you will be saying a few words as well. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the Chespenny Family YMCA for hosting us here this afternoon. Now it is my pleasure to invite Premier Andrew Furey to make today's announcements.
Well, thank you, Minister. It's certainly a pleasure to be here with everybody. Good afternoon, and thank you all for being here. It's truly wonderful to be joined by so many friends and colleagues and community partners and stakeholders. Thank you for taking the time to be here today. We are committed to putting in the work for our fellow Newfoundlanders and Labradorians, and you can see that by the spirit and the cross-section of the community that's represented here today. Thank you to the Chespenny Family YMCA for kindly hosting us and for your ongoing support and valuable work within our communities. Our government recognizes the high cost of living and inflationary pressures are creating challenging times for the people in our province. Individuals and families here and across the country, particularly those living in poverty, are feeling the impacts deeply. That's why our team has invested more than $500 million to help ease those pressures, from increasing income support and the seniors benefit to cutting the provincial gas tax in half. I've also been adamant that now is not the right time for a federal carbon tax. A federal tax that is punitive to taxpayers here, especially as winter months approach and for people who heat their homes with furnace fuel. It was about to be a huge increase. Our voices were heard in Ottawa, and that tax on home heating oil has been paused in time for the winter. Just over 3 years ago, my team and I set out to transform Newfoundland and Labrador. To do this, we knew we would need to make significant investments that will help improve the overall well-being of individuals and families. This includes our goal of making our province one of the healthiest by 2031. While we work towards that goal, we have to prioritize the social determinants of health, as recommended in Health Accord NL. The evidence is crystal clear. The social determinants of health have a far greater impact on well-being than the healthcare system itself. So it is critical that we continue to collaborate to build an environment that supports people to live healthy and fulfilling lives. I'm proud to say that as a government, we are placing a heightened focus on the social determinants of health, both in our spending and our policy directives. Our record is already strong. On top of more than $500 million to help ease the pressure of the high cost of living, we also increased the minimum wage and introduced targeted basic income for youth receiving residential services. Our work to build a better, brighter Newfoundland and Labrador is yielding results, but there is still so much to do. We have led for the first time the province towards population growth, growing for the first time consistently in 50 years. The lowest unemployment rates ever recorded, growing and developing new industries from technology to wind and hydrogen energy, and major reductions in our deficit and first ever investment in a future fund. To help ease pressures around housing here in our province, we are adding more social and supportive housing units while also launching a 5-point plan to incentivize the rapid construction of new housing units to help make it more affordable. And we have prioritized affordable childcare from an average of $40 a day when I became Premier in 2020 to $21 a day in 2021. And now there are over 8,000 children in $10 a day childcare spaces throughout our province. But of course, we're not done yet. So today, thanks to the hard work of our government, our valued community partners, and Newfoundlanders and Labradorians with lived experience, I am pleased to announce a new poverty reduction plan for Newfoundland and Labrador. The plan is supported by an investment that will grow to over $85 million annually. And this is in addition to the more than $900 million our government allocated in Budget 2023 for social programming and support for lower income individuals and families. Informed by extensive consultations, this new 3-year phased plan has 4 key areas and associated actions to better support the well-being of people across our province. And now I'll go over the plan, so bear with me. There's a lot to it, including 4 major areas: child poverty, employment, income support, and seniors. Let's start with children. We already know that the #1 predictor of adult poverty is child poverty. So we are taking action. Our first focus is reducing child poverty. To do this, we have 3 major items. First, we are increasing the Newfoundland and Labrador child benefit by 300% over the next year and a half. That's right, 300% increase. It will benefit approximately 14,000 children in families with the lowest incomes across our province. We are expanding the prenatal, we're expanding the prenatal nutrition supplement up to age 5, changing it from 0 to 1 to up to age 5, and therefore rightfully renaming it the Prenatal and Early Childhood Nutrition Supplement to better reflect its expanded scope. This means more than 500 families across the province with the lowest income will receive an additional $150 a month for 4 extra years. Third, we are providing additional funding to ensure school lunch and breakfast programs are available in all junior kindergarten, and K-9 schools across the province starting next September. This expansion will mean over 30,000 additional students will have access to school lunch and breakfast programs, bringing the total to over 45,000 students across Newfoundland and Labrador. Our second key focus is on employment. We are expanding our employment stability pilot to become a program and expanding its scope to include the entire province, making it a program which helps income support recipients become full members of the workforce, ensuring that they have the necessary supports, financial and otherwise, while making that transition. Since the pilot was launched back in January, nearly 40 participants no longer need income support to supplement their earnings. And we're working hard to help everyone, including newcomers, connect with the in-demand jobs. Second, with respect to employment, we are announcing a program for non-eligible EI people who want to upskill or train to leave low-income jobs. This could represent an additional $35,000 of support for these people as they move in the upward transition towards middle class. This will build on our existing workforce development efforts as we are investing $170 million this year alone to help over 15,000 individuals secure employment. With respect to income supports, we are further improving income interventions by enhancing benefits, like increasing the income support comfort allowance by $50 a month. This is the first increase in this program since 1999. We are also streamlining the approximately 30 income support programs which we now have down to 6, which will lead to more efficiency for people, the people who need it. It will ultimately lead to a more effective delivery model, and most importantly, will lead to a quality of support for the people who need it the most. This alone, this one measure alone, has the potential for people receiving income support to see anywhere between a 15 to 100% increase over the next 2 to 3 years. We are also going to implement a second targeted basic income program, this time for people aged 60 to 64 who currently receive income support and the community services program through health and community services. This group will be brought to the same level as the basic federal seniors benefit, so the combination of old age security and guaranteed income supplement, allowing for adequate, stable, and certain financial supports. Seniors are so important to us that we want to make sure we have to get it right. The data analysis has changed and has not led us to a full announcement today, but we want to make sure that we get it right and have a standalone seniors poverty reduction program. So there will be one announced in the oncoming months. There's also work ongoing by the Cabinet Committee with respect to seniors and some other measures this government will introduce in the not-too-distant future to help seniors across our province deal with the high cost of living. This is in addition to measures that we've already taken for seniors, like increasing the seniors benefit by 15% and investing $1.3 million to cover the cost of driver medicals for people over the age of 75. My friends, this is a big day for the province, a big day for children across Newfoundland and Labrador, a big day for all Newfoundlanders and Labradorians, a big leap forward when it comes to supporting lower income and more vulnerable Newfoundlanders and Labradorians, especially children, to help break the cycle of poverty and improve the overall well-being of all Newfoundlanders and Labradorians together. Our government continues to put in the work to build a modern Newfoundland and Labrador for a modern global economy, but most importantly, leaving nobody behind. Thank you very much, and God guard thee, Newfoundland and Labrador.
Thank you, Premier Furey. As you just heard from Premier Furey, the new poverty reduction plan focuses on the most important social determinants of health, income, and food security. Led by my department, we developed our focus by listening to people with lived experience of poverty, community stakeholders, and frontline staff. It includes implementation of a wide range of targeted actions over the next 3 years to help reduce childhood poverty, create meaningful and sustainable connections to employment, and improve income. It is important to note that this is a living plan, and as needed, additional actions and objectives will be developed collaboratively to help achieve social well-being in this great province. We will now hear from Danielle Seward, Executive Director of the Single Parent Association of Newfoundland and Labrador. Danielle.
Thank you, Minister, and thank you, Premier. On behalf of the Single Parents Association of Newfoundland and Labrador, we are so happy to be here today as a part of this really exciting announcement. The unique challenges facing single-parent families have never been higher than they are today. From issues surrounding food insecurity, access to training, as well as the ability to make basic household need purchases, our clients face decisions that no parent should have to make. Do I purchase food for my family to eat tonight, or do I pay the latest bill looming on the counter? Can I afford a small gift under the Christmas tree this year, or do I have to explain to my child that Santa couldn't come? The impacts of increased cost of living across the board have forced single-parent families in our province to make those difficult choices. And as a soon-to-be mom myself, it's hard to fathom the decision that today's parents are forced to make just to provide the most basic needs for their children. Our organization, and I'm joined with some members of my team here today, work with single-parent families throughout Newfoundland and Labrador, and we've seen the impact of these barriers firsthand. As such, we're delighted to be here today, celebrating the changes being made through the Poverty Reduction Plan. As the voice for thousands of single parents across our province, there are several key changes made here today that we see as vital to our client group. First, the expansion of school lunch programs across the province will help address the critical concern of food insecurity within single-parent family homes. Our food bank has never been at a higher demand, including an alarming rate of new clients each and every week. Last year alone, nearly 900 children depended on our food bank for nutritious meals on a monthly basis. And this year, we are sadly on track to substantially exceed that record. School lunch items have risen to be the #1 requested product in our food hampers, and this change will ensure that this particular burden is relieved from single-parent households. Similarly, the substantial increase in the Newfoundland and Labrador child benefit will be news of a warm relief for single-parent families, particularly at this time of year. At the Single Parents Association, we've seen record-shattering demand for this year's Christmas Magic program, which provides single parents with basic gifts for their children and groceries for their table. Within just the 20 minutes of opening registration for this year's program, we received applications from nearly 250 families across Newfoundland and Labrador. This number quickly doubled in just a few short days. To put this in perspective, we provided gifts and groceries to 400 families during the entire holiday season of 2022. Simply put, the increased cost of groceries, basic household essentials, and general inflation has propelled more single parents than ever to reach out for help. This increase of 300% will provide additional assistance to those in need at such a critical time. It will give single parents the dignity and the respect to make sound decisions on basic household needs. And after all, relieving pressure on a parent, in turn, gives a sense of relief for their child. The Single Parents Association of Newfoundland and Labrador applauds the news here today, and we ourselves are filled with excitement to share these updates with our clients. In life, nobody sets out on a mission to become a single parent. It's a situation that so many Newfoundlanders and Labradorians find themselves in due to a cascade of circumstances outside of their control. The road to that particular destination is paved with obstacles and challenges. Although with the inclusion of carefully considered changes to the supports made available, including those here today, organizations like us can continue to empower single parents on that journey. Thanks again for inviting us here today, and please accept our sincere appreciation for considering the needs of single parent families across Newfoundland and Labrador and the changes made today. Thank you.
Thank you, Danielle. Now we'll hear from Laura Winters, CEO of Stella's Circle. Laura.
Hi there. Thank you, Minister Pike, and thank you to the Honourable Dr. Andrew Furey for having me here today. I am Laura, my pronouns are she and her, and I'm the CEO of Stella's Circle. I think we're asked to be here as an organization that certainly works with folks experiencing poverty, and I want to acknowledge the many, many community partners I see here in the room and beyond today. Work in the community sector does not happen in a vacuum. It's a collective effort, and there's so many faces here. I see Choices for Youth, I see End Homelessness St. John's, our friends at Food First NL, who all are working in this sector. So Stella's Circle, so happy for the invite, but also acknowledging the deep work that happens across the sector. So we witness how poverty marginalizes community members every day in our work in the community sector. And for a very long time, I've been advocating for increased funding to better meet people's needs. This new poverty reduction plan is a commitment to begin tackling the systemic barriers that have kept people in the margins. System navigation can be a huge barrier for community members like participants who access the services at Stella's Circle. So I'm so pleased that this new approach offers simplified and transparent solutions to promote equity. This plan ensures that our government programs more effectively address the current needs of all individuals, and it's starting by helping the folks who need it most. And so yes, in all our policies, let's start at the margins and work our way. The 3-year framework provides a way forward for a healthier and more equitable province, which is something we deeply believe in at Stella's Circle. Our vision is a home, a job, a community, and the vital outcomes these are for physical and mental health, but also very difficult to achieve and sustain without access to income and employment. So we believe that meaningful and stable employment is an important contributor to physical health, mental health, and quality of life. So all of this is so much about the social determinants of health. And through our Employment Services Division at Stella's Circle, we've already seen the benefits of the Employment Stability Project, and we are celebrating its expansion. We commend further action to income support to put more income into people's pockets through this announcement. And the changes, particularly around the training for non-EI eligible individuals, I think is really meaningful in this announcement to helping people be on the path to employment when they need it. And as well, given the challenges around housing affordability and the homelessness crisis that we are all too aware of in the community sector, the shifting policies that have been announced today that really help people access housing in a way that meets their needs and remove some of those barriers, I think will have very tangible results. And we're so excited to dig into this with our community partners and find out how we can leverage these changes to support folks. So I'm pleased that this plan is informed by the voices of community stakeholders and, most importantly, individuals with lived expertise who are living in poverty and having those experiences and have the knowledge they are the best policymakers. So thank you for incorporating their voices. And we know these are the folks that bear the weight of these systemic changes and barriers, and so wonderful that their voices have been listened to in these changes. So while we work and advocate towards massively transformative change like a universal basic income, this is such a wonderful start. Personally, when I worked frontline, I recall having my little black book of folks within the income support system that I'd call and say, hey, can you bend this rule for me? And I think we're working away from that. towards system change. So we don't have rules being bent, we have huge changes to those rules that can better meet the needs of individuals. That's such a positive outcome today. And so at Stella's Circle, we're heartened to see increased access to resources for people marginalized by poverty, people who deserve that access and deserve those resources. Centering the voices of lived expertise builds better policies, and we welcome system change that addresses barriers to better respond to those individuals in need. So we're so very pleased to see this thoughtful response to community advocacy towards poverty reduction that empowers individuals and families in our province to realize more independent and more inclusive lives that they so deserve. Thank you.
Together with the many community groups in this room, as I look out, I see so many, as well as my caucus colleagues, great to see so many of you here today. We're creating more accessible communities to help prevent and reduce poverty across the lifespan. As Minister responsible for the community sector, thank you so much to Danielle Seward and Laura Winters for your respective teams, as well as the other community partners that are here today. Thank you so much for coming out. We really appreciate it. You make our province stronger and a better place for all of us. Today's launch of the new poverty reduction plan for Newfoundland and Labrador enables us to demonstrate our government's commitment to the vision of the Health Accord Newfoundland and Labrador. Collectively, we will deliver better health and social outcomes for all of Newfoundland and Labradorians. Today's announcement moves us further along the path to meeting our goal and becoming one of Canada's healthiest provinces by 2031. Thank you all once again. We will now open it up to the media for questions, and I'll ask the Premier if he will come forward.